It's hard to ignore things like Nancy Pelosi and her husband building a $120 million fortune while trading stocks using what many believe may be legal but unethical insider trading. The big tech companies that tell us what to think and what we're allowed to say, they get a free pass from the government. But those in Congress who should be protecting us own stocks in those same companies and know in advance what's going to happen with them. No wonder we're seeing the American people get dramatically upset once again. No wonder the Congress and President Biden look so bad in the polls. To get a feel for the Tea Party sentiment today, we've asked Jenny Beth Martin into the economic war room. Jenny Beth is the CEO of Tea Party Patriots and a friend. She was there at the beginning of the Tea Party in 2009 and has proven to be a true leader in the movement. She's been named by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Welcome, Jenny Beth.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be with you.
Thank you. Hey, Jenny Beth, what are people thinking when they say Queen Pelosi with her $120 million net worth showing off her $24,000 freezer full of $12 a pound gourmet ice cream?
I think that it just shows how completely out of touch she is with the average Americans and the people that she claims she wants to champion on Capitol Hill. Most Americans can't afford the luxuries that she has. And you know, it's one thing if you can afford it, but kind of showing off with it, trying to look like you're hip and cool and plugged in with the average American, that is not the way to do it. I certainly don't buy $12 a pint ice cream, and I don't think most Americans do.
Yeah, no. So, and what bothers me is that, well, a recent poll found that 3/4 of voters want to ban congressional stock trading because they believe that Congress has an unfair advantage. And Nancy Pelosi says, you know, I have a right to trade stocks. This doesn't seem right to me. What are your thoughts?
Well, okay, so she has a right to trade stocks, but she doesn't have the right to know things that are going to happen, what kind of bills may be passing into law that game the system to advantage one company over another before the rest of the public does, and then to go act on that kind of knowledge. So I just think that that isn't the way that our system should have been set up. It certainly isn't taking the actions that I would expect a public servant to take. And so I think I just think that this is, again, just another example of how out of touch she is with average Americans.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, there's bills being pushed. Should we ban insider trading by Congress?
Yeah, I think that we should ban insider trading by Congress. And actually, Senator Josh Hawley has a bill that he has introduced to do just that, to ban congressional insider trading. It would prohibit the elected member and their spouse from trading stocks. They still could be inside of mutual funds or treasury bonds, but not individual stocks. And I think that that is a way to make what they are doing a bit actually more fair. And that is a good approach to take. What we're seeing right now from people who are in Congress who have amassed wealth, especially if they're amassing wealth based on the knowledge of bills that will or will not pass, and gaming the system in that manner, that isn't fair. And a Fortune 500 company would not be allowed to do that and to trade stock that way. It's not right for members of Congress to do it either.
Yeah, and it seems to work both ways, because you've got insider trading knowing what they're going to do with companies, but then you also have this risk of, what if they own stock in something? Would they vote the right way, what's good for the American people, or are they going to vote to support their interests?
Yeah, and that creates a real problem, because you don't know what is motivating them. Of course, even if they want to represent their people as fairly as they possibly can, their own personal self-interest are going to rise to the top. That is human nature. So this is a way kind of to guard and create a check and a balance on human nature. I think that most Americans expect that people who step up and run for elected office should do so because they want to actually serve the public, not because they want to make a personal profit and fortune from the work as an elected official. And I think that Senator Hawley's bill is a way to help guard against that human nature and actually help them live up to what we expect from public servants.
Nancy Pelosi has made a fortune worth more than $100 million, all while working on a government salary. How? How are she and other politicians becoming millionaires while supposedly working for us in Congress? The corruption is deeply disturbing. Democrats and Republicans alike are pigging out on Pelosi perks. Politicians in Washington are giving themselves big salaries, big pensions, and big benefits. And if that wasn't bad enough, they're making millions on Wall Street with insider trading. Economic War Room has just released its expose of this outrage. And we've launched a nationwide campaign so every American can take action to demand an end to Pelosi perks. Go to stopdcgreed.com, and in less than 60 seconds, you can tell lawmakers to stop the corruption and stop DC greed.